Have you ever considered how many people face eviction in the United States today? It's a question that sadly has become all too relevant in the past few years. The eviction crisis has grown into a severe issue that is affecting a significant portion of the population, and the numbers, they tell a story that cannot be ignored. Let's delve into some of the alarming statistics that illustrate the scale of this crisis. As we speak, millions of individuals and families in our nation are teetering on the brink of eviction. They're caught in a cycle of rising rents, stagnant wages, and an unforgiving housing market. The reasons for eviction are varied but often interconnected. For some, it's a sudden job loss or an unexpected medical expense. For others, it's the long-term impact of systemic issues like poverty and inequality. And let's not forget the financial fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic, which has left countless families struggling to keep a roof over their heads. Geographically, the crisis is widespread, but it hits hardest in certain regions. Urban areas with their high cost of living are particularly affected. But it's not just the cities. Rural communities, often overlooked in discussions about housing, are also feeling the pinch. And then there are the communities of color. They are disproportionately affected, a reflection of the deep-seated racial disparities that persist in our society. The impact of this crisis extends beyond those immediately at risk of eviction. It ripples out to affect neighborhoods, cities, and the entire economy. The housing market, a pillar of the US economy, is under strain as more homes sit empty and fewer people can afford to buy. As the numbers reveal, the eviction crisis is a severe issue that is affecting a significant portion of the population. This isn't just a housing issue, it's a societal problem that requires urgent attention and action. And as we'll explore in the next scenes, the impact of this crisis goes well beyond bricks and mortar. It's about people, their lives, and their futures. But what is the ripple effect of this crisis on the housing market and the broader economy? Let's delve into that. When eviction rates rise, the first knock-on effect is an increase in vacant properties. These unoccupied homes can lead to a decrease in property values, as a neighborhood filled with empty houses is less appealing to potential buyers. This can also lead to a strain on the rental market. With many properties vacant and fewer renters able to afford them, landlords may find themselves unable to cover their costs. But the domino effect doesn't stop at the housing market, it spills over into the broader economy. The government, for instance, may find itself burdened with increased spending on homeless services. As more individuals and families find themselves without a roof over their heads, the demand for these services can skyrocket, putting strain on public resources. Job losses also become a concern. The real estate sector, which includes not only agents but also maintenance staff, cleaners and many others, can suffer as the market contracts. The construction sector too can feel the pinch. With fewer people able to afford homes, the demand for new builds may decrease, leading to layoffs in this industry. And let's not forget the potential for a vicious cycle. As the housing market suffers, so too does the economy. And as the economy struggles, more people may find themselves unable to afford their rent or mortgage payments, leading to even more evictions and further strain on the housing market. In analyzing these potential consequences, it becomes clear that the eviction crisis is a multifaceted problem. It's not just about people losing their homes, as devastating as that is. It's about the wider impacts on society and the economy. The eviction crisis is not just a personal tragedy for those affected. It's a potential disaster for the housing market and the wider economy. Behind these cold statistics, there is a human story. What does the eviction crisis mean for the average American? Imagine for a moment you're an average American. You work hard, you pay your bills, you try to save a little something for the future, but then the unexpected happens. A job loss, a health crisis, or an economic recession. Suddenly you're faced with the looming threat of eviction. This is the reality for many Americans as we speak. The human impact of the eviction crisis is immense. It's not just about losing a roof over your head. It's about the mental, physical, and financial toll it takes on individuals and families. Studies show that eviction can lead to increased depression, anxiety, and even suicide rates. It's a stressor that can trigger a cascade of health problems from hypertension to heart disease. The ripple effects of eviction extend to every aspect of life. Children who are evicted are more likely to drop out of school as the instability makes it hard to keep up with studies. The loss of a stable home can also lead to job loss, as maintaining employment becomes increasingly difficult without a fixed address. Let's talk numbers. According to a report from the National Alliance to End Homelessness, the eviction crisis could potentially increase homelessness by up to 45%. That's nearly 500,000 more people without a home. And with the eviction crisis worsening, poverty rates are also expected to rise, creating a vicious cycle that is hard to break. Health problems among those who have been evicted are also on the rise. Research shows that people who have been evicted are more likely to suffer from chronic conditions like hypertension and heart disease. They're also more likely to report poor health and have higher mortality rates. But these are not just statistics. These are real people with real lives, real dreams, and real struggles. Each eviction notice is a story of a life disrupted, a family distressed, a future uncertain. The eviction crisis is not just a series of numbers, it's a human crisis affecting real people and real lives. So to sum up, how bad is the housing eviction crisis in the United States in 2024? The answer, I'm afraid, is dire. We've seen how evictions are not just a consequence, but also a catalyst for a domino effect of socioeconomic issues. The data reveals a stark reality. Countless families are being displaced, and the housing market is teetering on the brink. The ripple effects of this crisis are expected to be felt in the economy at large, with potential repercussions on the stability of the entire financial system. Yet it's not just about numbers and market trends. We must remember the human cost of these evictions: families uprooted, children's education disrupted, and the mental and physical health toll on those affected. The eviction crisis in 2024 is more than just a housing issue. It's a societal issue, a health issue, and an economic issue all rolled into one. It's a ticking time bomb that could have far-reaching consequences for the American economy, the housing market, and most importantly, the American people.